Well, hello and welcome. This video is to explain the serial communication using the Arduino Uno card. For this I am using this online simulator Tinkercad. This is really cool because you don't need to install anything on your computer. All the simulation on all the environment it's online, so you just need to use a web browser and so you can create your own simulations. So the program that I want to implement is really easy. I just want to send a message, a text from the serial port of this Arduino card, and I want to read this information and display this information in here in the serial monitor. In here I can see all the information that I sent to the serial port. So the program is as follows. First of all, I need to include the library to use the serial port. This library has all the information needed to use properly the serial port of this card. So you just need to add hashtag include and the name of the library. After that, I use this instruction and I am going to explain the difference or why I am using this instruction. Well, the Arduino card originally has two serial ports. These ports, the RX and TX. This is for information reception and this is for information transmission. This is the original hardware ports designed to use the serial communication. But usually in your program, sometimes you use these ports for another activity or for another necessity. And so I need to be able to use another port as a serial transmitter and as a serial receptor. So these instructions allows to me to change the port that I want to use as reception and transmission. So you see originally port 0 and 1 is to reception and for transmission. But with this instruction I can change it. I can say okay, now I want my port number 2 be the reception and port number 3 be the transmission. Yes, and I want to show you the difference between this configuration and the original configuration. So the next instruction it's the main block. This is usually the default design for your program. So all this block, the void setup, and all inside of this it's default, so you don't need to add it. Usually when you start a program you have all this. Now here I have some comments, and this is only a comment, and this is the instruction to specify the baud rate of my serial communication. This is like the speed of my serial communication. You might want to look on internet or maybe in a classroom you can learn more about this. But the only thing that you need to know is if you are using this speed to transmit, your receptor, whether it's the same board or another computer, needs to be configured in the same manner. So I am configuring this speed, and then I need to use this instruction. This instruction is to wait to the software, actually the hardware, to be ready to work. Usually inside of this, these ports are being used for, I don't know, something, even if you don't know. So you need to wait until these ports are free and ready to work. So this is to wait for the internal program to get ready to work. And you only need to use this instruction if you are using these original ports. If you choose another ports, you don't need to use this instruction. You see, there is a difference. The original serial configuration, I mean this and these ports, are this instruction, and I create a new configuration called my serial that is this and this port number 2 and port number 3, to be my serial. So I also need to configure my serial port. So I have two serial ports. Actually I only have one, but virtually I'm creating a new one. This is my virtual serial port and this is my original serial port. So I need to configure my original serial port, and remember this instruction, it's necessary if I am using the original ports. And this is the configuration for my virtual created with this instruction serial port. And look, I don't need to use this instruction because, as I told you, and I am really repetitive, I know, but I want you to understand that this instruction it's only if I am using the original RX and TX ports. Now, as you can see, I configured the speed communication, the baud rate for my virtual port, and then I said, okay, port, please write in these ports 3 and 2. Actually, it's only in the port number 3 because it's transmission, this message, hello world. Okay, and now I want to repeat this over and over. So in my loop, this is actually also original or a natural part of your program. When you create a new program, you have this and this. So inside of this, you can put anything that you want to repeat over and over. So I check if my port is available, I mean if there is information in my port. So I want to write in my port, actually in the port, the thing that I read. So look at this. With this instruction, I am writing hello world into the transmission of my virtual serial communication. So in the pin number 3. So I send this message from here, and then this message is received by the reception original port, this port. So if I get this information, I'm going to write this information to the original port. So now I'm going to transmit this information. So this information is going to be right in the port number 1. So you see, originally I sent a message from this, it goes through this cable to the reception, and then I write it again. And so let's see what happens. So I run the simulation, and oh wow, I have this. And this is something I want you to know. This is a problem, maybe a bug, because we are using a simulator. So I have this same program in my actually real Arduino board, this one, and as you can see it's exactly the same program, and look at this, I have the message properly displayed. So now you see, this is because uh, I am using the simulator. So simulation sometimes has some problems. So don't be picky. Actually, this is free and it's really useful. You just need to be careful that usually simulation it's a little bit different than the real world. So, but this only happens when I use a virtual port. Look at this. I'm changing my program to use it from the original ports. So I am not using the virtual ports anymore. I am using the original serial communication ports. Look at this. I am not using my serial but serial. So now the information is going to be transferred from transmission to reception and over and over and over, and check the difference. You see, now it works properly. So as I told you, this is a bug for simulation. It's a drawback, but it's not a big deal. I just want you to know this and understand what happens. But as you can see, it works perfectly if you run this program in the real Arduino card. So uh, today we learned that we can send information using the serial transmission port. We can receive the information using the reception transmission port. We can use another port for the same serial transmission and reception using virtual ports. Using this instruction, it's not necessary that I use these ports. I can use this and this, or also all of this, but I need to be careful because in simulation this change of ports produce some bugs, but it's not a big deal. So I guess this is all of this. Have a good day and see you next time.